Here is a PalmAire desk fan. This is model number TFA12LG. And there's the fancier PalmAire logo with the palm. Made in China. Great. Thermally protected. It takes in 35 watts at 120 volts. And it was made in the April of 2007. In case anybody was wondering, this is a fan, not a toy. My cousin gave me this a number of years ago, probably sometime in the early 2010s. And then I had loaned it out to my grandfather, and he was using it for a while. And then I got it back. It's a Midea product. It's very much has SMC roots, of course, because the SMC fans came from Midea. And this is kind of intriguing to me because this fan very much still exists on the market today. It doesn't look exactly like this anymore, but the Home Depot, which is where these were sold, still sells a variant of this fan, which is very, very similar. These were sold at the Home Depot as early as 2001, maybe a little bit older, a couple years prior, somewhere in that range. And it's an economy model. You know, it's nothing to write home about, but for what it cost and for what it is, I think these are pretty decent. Even the ones sold today are relatively decent. There's certainly worse fans out there that you could get. It's got a kind of a short cord. You know, it's an economy fan. It's going to have some shortcomings. No funny fuse business, but it is polarized though. The base is two parts, so this is like where it switches, and then this is just a piece of plastic. It's in pretty good condition. I got a lot of good use out of this when he first gave it to me, because this was kind of one of the first like newer oscillating fans I had. I still didn't have a whole lot of fans at the time that he gave this to me, so I really appreciated it back in the day. I might have had a Lasco, that Lasco one at the time, and that was about it. So I liked this fan, and I used it quite a bit in the bedroom. I used it in the computer room for a while, and it's been a good fan. It's never really had any issues. I always liked the sound that it made. It had kind of a almost like a high velocity fan kind of sound to it as it cut through the air. Alright, so we're looking at 121 volts. Let's see, is that going to show up on the camera? Nah, not really. Go over to the amps. Actually, we'll do the watts because that's what the rating is for. Turn the oscillations off, and we'll start it up on the 1. I'll off this heater so that we can hear the fan better. It's out of balance. You know, it's definitely cheap, but it's not cheap enough that it's dysfunctional. It's still working, and it's moving a decent amount of air. The bearings are probably stiff. I haven't used this in a while. Oh, actually, not too bad. They could fairly oiled though. Well, if that's going to run, I'm going to put the heater back on because it's going to be noise polluted. It might as well not be cold. So that moves pretty good here. You know, it's not outrageous, but it's not bad either. It's not into the Lasco Galaxy translucent blade fans area, but it's not bad. And it's already pulling 30 watts, which is interesting. Let's go to the 2. And that's only drawing 2 more watts, so there's really not a whole lot of reason to use this on low unless you don't want to hear the noise. Now this got a decent range and speed. It's definitely throwing a fair bit more air now. Really isn't bad performance for a cheap fan. It's definitely pretty out of balance though. Okay, and we'll go to the high, or the 3. Another good jump in speed. And we're getting, was 35 watts right on the nose, 34.29 amps, and a power factor of 0.98. So it's drawing the amount of power that it's supposed to. It's pretty efficient. 30.35 watts is a pretty standard rating for these things now. And you know, it's actually pushing some good air. It's a little bit stronger than I remembered it being. It's not the ones sold today are not quite as strong as this. This is not bad. And that's really not too shabby. I'm kind of impressed by this. I just don't remember it being quite this strong. And it's noisy in here now, but I'll try to capture the sound of it. Down a point, or to 33 watts. Let's check out the oscillations. The oscillation's kind of fast for my preference. Kind of hear the high velocity sounds to it, especially with my hand over here. It's a very pleasant sounding fan, unlike a lot of the stuff that you get today. The spin down is kind of short. I haven't ran in a long time, so bearings are probably getting a little bit dry. So there it is, the 12-inch PalmAire oscillating table desk fan made by Midea, and this general design has been running for quite some time, a little over 2 decades now.